Top 10 secret languages of the world. Some secret languages exist in the world today, spoken and understood only by those in the know. These various secret tongues are employed by a diverse range of groups, including traditional healers, professional wrestlers, citizens of specific communities, and even criminals. Here are 10 secret languages explained in detail. So let's get started. Number 10. Polari. Polari started off as a mean of communication among British sailors in the 19th century, but became the unofficial language of British Guyz between the 1930s and 1960s. When being gay was illegal in Britain, Polari allowed gays to secretly talk with themselves and strike conversation with strangers they felt were gay. If the stranger replied, they knew he was game, but if he did not, they continued minding their business, all without giving a clue to their sexuality. In Polari, sex is called trade, while courting refers to the act of looking for partner in bathroom. Vada means look at. Dolly Eek refers to a pretty face, and a chicken is a young man. Police officers are called Sharpie, Lily Law or Sharpening Omi, while an attractive man is called a dish. A telephone is called Polari pipe, while Polari itself means talk. Number 9. Pig Latin. Children and sometimes adults use Pig Latin, which is formed by altering words of the English language to secretly communicate among themselves. It was first used around 1869 and has been called other names like Hog Latin, Goose Latin and Dog Latin. Some Pig Latin words like Ixnay, which was derived from the word nix, and Amscray, which has derived from the word scram, have been adopted into English language. Converting an English word to a Pig Latin depends on the letter or group of letters that begins the word. If it begins with a vowel, way is added to its end, so awesome become awesome way. If it begins with a consonant followed by a vowel, the consonant is moved to the end of the word and ay is added, so happy becomes happy hay. If it begins with two consonants, both consonants are moved to the end of the word and ay is added, so child become elche. Number 8. Leet. Leet speak or hack speak works by replacing individual letters in a word with a single number, symbol or group of number or symbol that resembles the letter. Leet was started by an elite hacker group in the 1980s. They use it to pass secret messages among members. However, some internet users can read Leet, albeit with some difficulty. Computers cannot read Leet, so spammers include it in emails to bypass a spam filter. Some internet users also use it to create passwords, which are difficult for software used by hackers, which target English words found in the dictionary to crack but are easy for the user to remember. Number 7. Bondling. Bondling is the unofficial language of Bonneville, California, where it has been spoken since between 1880 and 1920. It is a mixture of several Native American languages, Spanish, and slang words created by locals. One reason bondling remains confined to Bonneville is because of these slang words, which locals fear outsiders will use to mock them, as they were formed from the name and characteristic of the locals. Jeffer, for instance, means fire, and to Jeffer means to burn. Both were named after a man called Jeff Vessel, who was fond of starting fire whenever he went. Similarly to Charlie, someone means to embrace them. It was named after a local Native American man called Charlie Paul, who was famous for embarrassing people. There is also Suveltooth, which means doctor. It was named after one of the town's doctor who had a white teeth. Tig means crazy and was named after a dunk nicknamed Tige, who got the nickname from his habit of singing the song Hold That Tiger. There is also Almiti to burp, which was named after a woman called Almiti, who was known for her too frequent burping. And Applehead, which means girlfriend. It was first used to refer to a native's girlfriend who had a small head. The art of speaking bonding is called harp. Number 6. Khani. Professional wrestlers use Khani or Khani talk to speak among themselves. Even if they are in front of an audience, it traces its origin to the beginning of professional wrestler when carnivals workers called Khanis use it to communicate during public wrestling matches. In Khani, Ease, which is pronounced Eus is added before the vowel of every syllable. So is become Aziz and Kelly become Kezilezi. Besides adding E's to English word, Khani contains several slang words like Andre Sword, which is named after Andre the Giant. It referred to extragation of the physique of a wrestler by taking shots from physical specific angles. There is also a Batman match, which refers to a poor, uninteresting match. Beat down, which is used when a wrestler is beaten up by a group of wrestlers, and canned heat, which occurs when screams and boos are added into the wrestling arena via speakers or edited in for broadcast. Number 5. Luanfado. Prisoners in Argentina use Luanfado to secretly communicate among themselves. The language which was first used by members of the Buenos Aires lower class contain words from languages like Spanish and Italian. It has over 5,000 words, and one of its mainstay is the use of words, the switching of a word syllables. Cafe, for instance, is pronounced feca. Luanfado was popularized in Europe by the proliferation of tango music, which denoted it as a violent and sexual language. In 1943, its usage in tango music was banned at the behest of moralists, whose eyebrows were raised after youth started using it. Its usage went into decline in the 1950s but returned in the 1960s. There is a no Lunfardo English dictionary or converter, but readers who understand Spanish will find a Spanish Lunfardo dictionary. Number 4. Sword Speak. Sword Speak, gay lingo or gay speak is the secret language used by gay in the Philippines. It was formed due to the unfriendly attitude of the non-gay community towards gay. It is a mixture of English, Spanish, Japanese, and several native Philippines languages, including Tagalog, Cebuana, Were, Bicolano, and Hiligaynon. Names of local and foreign politicians, celebrities, and brands are also adopted as words and given meaning in Swat Speak. Swat itself is Philippine slang for gay. Speak has no fixed rules of standard, and different localities have their own dialects. Words are added when needed and removed when they are not. Some speakers even replace the first letter of a Swat Speak word with a one or two letter combination and replace the vowel sound a, o, and u with or, and to make it sound like a foreign language and further confuse non-speaker. Number 3. Thieves' Cant, also called Rogues' Cant or Peddler's French. Thieves' Cant was a language favored for secret communication among thieves and beggars in several Anglophone countries, including Britain. Its use was heavily declined, although it is still used by gangs in the US and Britain. There are two versions of Thieves' Cant, Simple Thieves' Cant and Advanced Thieves' Cant. Simple Thieves' Cant is the most popular of the two and was used by novice criminals, lower class citizens, and law enforcement agents. Advanced Thieves' Cant, which many simple thieves can't speak didn't know existed, was used by higher level criminals. Even then, it was rarely used or written and could only be orally learned from an experienced criminal. Number 2. No Shoe. No Shu, which means woman's writing, is a female-only language used by Chinese women. It originated in China's Hunan province around 15 BC, when women who were forbidden from getting an education formed and used it to secretly communicate among themselves. The language was a well-kept secret and only became known to the West in the 1980s. Some of its characters were derived from the Chinese language, while others were invented. Like Chinese, Nushu is written and read from top to bottom and from right to left, but unlike Chinese, its characters take up less space and contain more curved line. The last proficient Nushu speaker was Yang Huani, who died at the age of 94 or 98 in 2004. Number 1. Kalawea. The Kalawea language is exclusively spoken by members of Kalawea tribe of Bolivia. The Kalaweas, who reside in 6 villages in Bolivia's Opolobamba region, are traditional medical healers who use the language for healing purposes, although they sometimes use it in their day-to-day conversation. The Kalawea language was derived from the Quechua language spoken by the Incas. It is not written down but rather passed orally from father to son or from expert healer to his student. Children are exempted from learning Kalawea, and it is only reserved for teenagers and adults who want to become traditional healers. It is rapidly disappearing and has less than 100 living speakers. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please do like, subscribe and comment on our video to show your support and motivate me. Till now, I am Mohammad Arshad signing out. Thank you.